Everybody, Meg31 back here for FSI DFS. I'll be covering the 10-game slate for Saturday, August 14th. Before we get started, just need a little bit of feedback from you guys. The other day, on Thursday, with the Field of Dreams game, we opened up our course for free on our website. So just wondering if you guys used that, if you found it helpful. If you did, maybe it's something that we might consider doing again time to time for you. So if you can leave some feedback below in the comments and let us know if you used it, if it was helpful, what you thought of it. We really appreciate that. If we get a good enough response, and maybe this week or sometime soon, we'll consider opening up things again for you. So going over this 10-game slate quickly, not major weather concerns, maybe a little bit of rain early on Dodgers Mets, but it should clear up early enough that they get the game in. Milwaukee Brewers and Pittsburgh, speaking of rain, they were rained out last night. So this game, even though it looks like a great matchup, is only going to be a 7-inning game. So I would kind of fade the bats, even though Milwaukee's in a great spot here. And the pitchers, I'm really not interested in. Sometimes you can get a little cheeky and use those in the 7-inning games. And maybe if they're good enough, they'll get a complete game or a complete game shutout for you. But I don't see that as the case with the two guys there. So I'm just going to cross that game off and let's pretend we have a 9-game slate. So one of the teams I'm most interested in today in cash with pitching and with hitting is the Oakland A's against Texas. They've been on fire recently, putting up a lot of runs. Caprillion has started out strong, had some struggles. He's been good recently. Texas has really struggled. So I think at 9.3K, it's a fair price for him. I think he's probably going to be, if I pay up my SP2 in cash today, even though he might be more expensive than my SP1, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Like this lineup, I don't know if I can get Marte into 6K, but the rest of the guys are pretty reasonable to play. Again, putting up a lot of runs. Texas side, Joel Lyles, not a good pitcher, not interested in them, and really not interested in any of the bats. Yankees and White Sox, exciting game, Field of Dream games. Thank you, MLB. Sometimes when you guys do novelty things like that, it's just absolute garbage, but this one actually you did a very, very good job on, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it. So thank you for that. And it was a good game, though, even though the Yankees lost. I can't hate the White Sox because it was just a dramatic game, close. It was everything you could ask for in a baseball game. So thank you for that. So they had a day off, and now they return to Chicago. And you have Talon and Cisse. I think both pitchers are decent here. I'm okay playing either one, probably more in a GPP setting. So we don't know how this one's going to go. Wind's blowing in at 11 miles per hour, so I think that definitely helps the hitters. I think either team could be GPP stacks for you. I really wouldn't take one-offs. I'm not considering them for cash. The Yankees with their lineup can hit even good pitching like they got to Lynn. CC on the other side, or Talon on the other side too. He's been pretty solid recently, but the White Sox are pretty good. Not as much against right-handed batting. So I think I might consider the pitchers here. I consider the bats in GPP, but I'm not taking any of them as one-offs. Next game is Tampa Bay and Minnesota. You have two reverse splits pitchers going at each other. Not really interested in either one. Maybe Maeda. He's been better recently, but Tampa Bay has gotten better against right-handed hitting. Especially with a reverse splits kind of pitcher here. So I think the total's not out on this one, but I think it's going to be something close to 10. I think it's definitely fading Waka. Maeda, I think, is a cheap option with some upside with strikeouts from Tampa Bay. But I really like the bats on both sides. The Tampa Bay right-handed bats I really like, and Minnesota right-handed bats. So those are stacks that you can consider. I don't think they're necessarily cash stacks, but I think both of them, especially if this total's high, are very appealing tonight. Dodgers and Mets, you have two different pitchers here. You have Walker Buehler and Tijuan Walker. Walker has, it's Walker versus Walker. Cute. But Walker Buehler is the one that I would look here. I think, he's my second favorite pitcher on the slate here against the Mets. Mets have been better, but it's a pitching ballpark, and Tijuan Walker on their side, ever since the All-Star break, I don't know if it's injury or the stickum, or if I can't remember if he had COVID or not, but something happened to him. He's not the same. So I definitely like the Dodgers bats here. I think 4.9 total is a little bit low here. I think they're looking at Tijon Walker's body of work as a whole for the year and not just his recent form. So I think that if you're betting on that, I think, I'd bet the over on that. I think, the Dodgers could put up 5 or 6 runs here against the Mets. Their bullpen is okay, but nothing great. Again, it is more of a pitcher's park, but this Dodgers lineup is absolutely stacked. Even without Mookie Betts, they just have so many weapons there. I think they get to Walker early and have a very good game. Mets on the other side, if you want to throw them in a leverage stack, but I think Walker Buehler is going to have a solid outing here tonight, probably 20-25 DK points. Next up, you have St. Louis Cardinals and Kansas City Royals. I don't know who in the St. Louis Cardinals front office thought it was a great idea to trade for John Lester to help them with their season. I just don't get that. This game has a 10 total, 5 on both sides. Both pitchers are struggling. So Lester is good against lefties, and occasionally he'll throw out like a 25-point game, but I don't think that this is it, even again, though we've targeted Kansas City before. I like both offenses here. I think Kansas City is my favorite cheap stack on the slate. You really only have Perez at 4.8. Everybody else is below 4K. I think Merrifield is his next guy at 3.6. You can fit so many other things in here playing these guys. I love the righties against Lester. He's really struggled against them. There's plenty of righties on this team. St. Louis, I think they're an intriguing stack too against Keller. They're hit or miss, so I'd say more GPP play a stack. I would take some one-offs from here. I just commit to a full 5-man stack and make it work in a GPP lineup. So my favorite pitcher on slate is Joe Musgrove. He only comes in at 9-1. He's had solid form recently. He gets an Arizona team at home that has struggled all year. Still has some injuries. They're starting to get a couple guys back, but they trade some guys away. There's really nobody besides like Marte, maybe Rojas. Sometimes that scares me on this team. So I think Musgrove's going to go out there and have a really good game. He's my favorite SP1, and I think I'll be pairing him with Capellion. I think I'm paying up for both pitchers tonight, and I'll get to that when I do lineups. The San Diego Padres, I think, would be my 4th favorite stack of the night in cash. I think you've got a lot of good plays here, especially the right-handed batters against lefties. So Pham, I'd even take Frazier in there, Machado, Nola, catcher, Myers, even Marisnik sometimes comes out and has a good game or so. Gilbert on the other side, not interested in. If you want to do a leverage stack with Arizona in $1, I'm okay with that against Musgrove, but I think he's going to fare very well tonight. Colorado Rockies, San Francisco Giants, Kyle Freeland, Sammy Long. Sammy Long's a decent young pitcher. Lefty, I think he's probably somebody in the medium range that you can look at 8K against a Colorado team that's really not good outside of course. No idea how long he's going to go, so that's always a concern there. They have a high total, so there's the win equity. So I don't think you need to play him tonight. It's not a 5-game slate where the pitching's horrible. You've got a lot of great options. So if you land on him and this last guy in, I think that's one thing, but I think you can find other better plays in other spots. Not interested in Kyle Freeland here. 3rd favorite stack would be the Giants tonight, especially the right-handers. Freeland's really struggled with them. They can throw out such a right-handed lineup. You essentially might be the only left-handed bat in the whole lineup. Last night you had the wind blowing out 25 miles per hour. It says the same thing for this game. So I'd consider maybe Colorado stack against Sammy Long here, even though they have a 3.38 total. If the wind's blowing out 28 miles per hour, I mean, it's almost the same situation as Coors Field where the ball's going to fly, and that's where Colorado usually does better. So game stack here, like both sides, especially San Francisco, especially the right-handers. I think they're in a really good spot tonight. So keep an eye on it and make sure if that wind's still blowing out at that much, then you got to have pieces from this game probably. Los Angeles Angels against Houston Astros. Luis Garcia, Barrera. I'm not interested in Barrera, even though Houston hasn't been super electric recently. They've been grinding out runs, really kind of in a power slump recently. Bregman's not in the lineup there, but Diaz has been doing decent. Brantley and Tucker have quieted down a little bit. So I think Houston's just playing it out, just grinding it out, winning some games, trying to make it to the postseason, not, pedal to the metal, don't really need to, go all out and risk injuries in some of these games. So Garcia is a decent pitcher. Angels really don't scare me other than Ohtani usually. So Houston stack, I think, I don't even know if I really want to. They have a 5.43 total. I just don't see that. I'd probably bet the under on it. So many other good options tonight. I read pieces from the Tampa Bay Minnesota game. I'd rather have the A's. I'd rather have the Dodgers against Walker. I'd rather have the Giants and even some of the Rockies in that game if the wind's blowing out that much. Just really not interested in Houston tonight. If you want maybe late night game, it's okay, but you have the Rockies and Giants on that one. So a contrarian stack, probably going to have very low ownership. I'm okay with it. Not even really with one-offs here. There's so many other guys in better situations. Angels, same thing. If you want to play Ohtani as a one-off, I get it, but 6-3, like why? It's not a great situation tonight. The other guys are cheap too, so if you want to make a dollar stack out of them, they're just so hard to stack. So I'm moving on. Finally, with Toronto Blue Jays and Seattle Mariners, Ryu and Kikuchi. Ryu is definitely a valuable pitcher tonight. I think you can get like 20 DK points. I think he's my favorite medium range guy at 8.4. If you want to go down a little bit from Capellian, who thinks like 9-1, that saves you about $600-700, might get you, help you get another bat into your lineup. And then you have Kikuchi on the other side, who I'm really not interested in. I think maybe in a GPP, he's had a decent season, but it's lefty against righties, and pretty much the whole Toronto team is right-handed. I mean, they're going to throw out a full 9-person right-handed lineup there. So, and any of them can hit. So I'm really not interested there. Total's a little bit low for Toronto at 4.69. That might be right. Like I said, Kikuchi, even though he doesn't have the splits advantages, has been okay this season. So looking to stack Toronto, probably. I think they'd be a GPP stack that I will like, especially the righties. Like I said, they really don't play lefties. So I think even Kirk as a catcher at like 3K batting 6 is a decent play, because there's really no punts at catcher that I really like besides Maldonado. And you said, how I feel about Houston tonight. Seattle, maybe Toro. Like, I don't really like many pieces here. If you have about 3-5 left for a second baseman and Toro fits in, I'm fine with that, but don't try to jam on your lineup tonight. Not a priority. Okay, so lineup construction, like I said, pretty simple. Capellian, Musgrove, those are going to be my 2 pitchers. I'm calling Capellian my SP2 just because I like Musgrove so much, but he's actually $200 more expensive than him. For catcher, I usually punt. There's maybe a couple guys at like 2,600. I didn't see any 2K or low 2K catchers. So I think if you're going to put in a catcher, I think you need to find somebody in the 3K range, which there's a lot of them. But I'm just going to go up and place Gomes at 3.2. He's been decent this season, raking, filling in really well for Oakland here, and I'm going to use Oakland as a stack. So I'm taking Olsen. I'm going to take Lowry. I'm going to take, accidentally put in low, not Lowry. Let me get the right guy in there at second. There we go, Lowry. That makes a big difference. Kana, you can Marte 6K. I think you can get him in there, and then that leaves you third base, shortstop, and outfield to fill. And I think there's a couple Kansas City pieces that fit in there. There's a couple Kansas City pieces that are decent plays at minimum price that fit in there that can get you up one of the positions to another stud bat in your lineup. So that'd be my first construction. My second construction would be to stack San Francisco there with the wind blowing out, and then my third construction would be take pieces of that Minnesota Tampa Bay game. But I really like the 2 pitchers. Drop down to Ryu if you need a little bit more, but I think that's pretty much where I'm going tonight. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Give us a like. Again, said the other day on Thursday, if you had a chance to come to our website, or if you think that's something that interests you, to come to our website and see what our core sheet looks like and have like our core plays available to you like all day long. You know, they updated Thursday there were so many slates, and you know, we started out with the 12-10 one, and then we updated for the 405 one, and then we had the FanDuel main one at 7 o'clock, and then we had the main DK one at 9:38, and we just got all the showdowns around there. We had all our pitchers, all our stacks, and tiers for DK. So lots of good information. So again, put some comments below if you're interested in seeing that again, or if you tried it and it worked out well for you. We just want some feedback. And if we think it's something worthwhile to maybe offer again, we'll look into it sometime next week or in the near future. So thanks again for watching. Subscribe to our channel, give us a like, check out McKinley's video for the early slate if it's not too late at this point. I think it's at 4 o'clock today, so you still have some time. I'll probably have this video up by like 10:30 this morning. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later.